It's almost Black Friday once again, and today we're going to take another look through the eShop to find some of the best holiday deals that are live right now. We have a big list of games today, and all of them are on sale for under $5. Happy holidays for those that are celebrating. I hope you find all of the deals that you're looking for. Hey everyone, I'm JP and welcome to Good Talk HQ. Here at the channel, we cover Nintendo Switch content every week and we highlight some of the best deals that you can find on the eShop with videos like this, as well as single game spotlights to show off an individual game that's currently on sale. Plus, we live stream with our viewers to hang out and check out some of the new releases and budget-friendly eShop games together as well. If you enjoyed the video and you love the Switch like we do, consider subscribing down below to join our wonderful group here at the channel. We'd love to welcome you into the group, plus it will put you on the drawing for the next eShop gift card giveaway, which we do at the end of each month. All you have to do to enter is be sub to the channel, hit the like button down below, and leave us a comment so we can find your name and add you to the current list. To the extended family, welcome back my friends. Thank you as always for being here with us again today. We truly appreciate it. And with all of that said folks, as always, stay safe out there and please enjoy the video. Alright, we'll go in alphabetical order mostly, and we'll start with Atomic Heist. This is a single player arcade style shooter from Dragus Games and part of their secret sale. The game has a download size of roughly 400 megabytes and offers hours and hours of fun as you try to beat your last run. The game is shown from a top-down view and features amazingly smooth gameplay, easy to pick up controls, and an awesome soundtrack to keep you pushing through the procedurally generated levels. There are upgrades and power-ups that you can find, and there's even a few different game modes as well. Plus, if you own any of the developer's other games, you can get this for less than $1. Otherwise, it's on sale until November 29th, marked down 75% to just $1.99. Next we have Binarystar Infinity. This is a 1-bit shoot 'em up from Forever Entertainment, available for 1 or 2 players in local co-op, and will take players roughly 2 to 3 hours to finish up. The game has 8 exciting missions, each culminating in a unique and challenging boss battle at the end. The most unique feature though is the ability to play in either horizontal or vertical modes on the fly. This mechanic is so much fun to mess around with, and it was incorporated flawlessly. The color scheme really pops here on the Switch, so once again I bet this is a game that looks amazing on the OLED. If you're interested in Binarystar Infinity, make sure to pick it up before the sale ends on December 9th. It's marked down 50% to an all-time low of just $2.49. Next we have Conarium. This is a single-player adventure game with stunning visuals from Iceberg Interactive. The game has a download size of around 4 gigabytes and a main story that should last 3 or 4 hours to wrap up. We play as a man named Frank, and we've lost all of our memories, so we have to investigate a giant base in Antarctica to try to uncover what happened. The graphics, as I said, are gorgeous, and the soundtrack adds a level of immersion to the gameplay as well. Plus, the different puzzles you encounter or the riddles that you'll need to solve to progress all make sense, so you shouldn't get lost or stuck too often. If you're a fan of Lovecraftian lore, or this game looks interesting to you, make sure to grab it up before the sale ends on December 1st. It's marked down 75% to an all-time low of just $4.99. Death Tales is a dark and whimsical 2D action platformer from Arcade Distillery and offers roughly 5 hours of main story gameplay. The download size is around 800 megabytes and it offers local co-op for 2 players as well. In this one, players will embark on an adventure to collect equipment and spells, learn powerful attacks, and fight off hordes of enemies. There are more than 25 amazing levels that have been designed beautifully, loads of side quests, and even a shop that changes daily where you'll be able to spend the souls that you collect along the way. The game also has daily bounties as well, where you'll be able to hunt down some amazing bosses. As I mentioned, the entire game can be solo, or you can team up with 2 players for multiplayer action as well. If you're interested in Death Tales, make sure to check it out before the sale ends on December 6th. It's marked down 80% to an all-time low of just $1.99. Next we have Dwarf Journey. This is a single-player 2D platformer with a retro look and sound from Orub Game Studio and offers roughly 4 to 5 hours of main story gameplay. The download size is around 300 megabytes and the main story centers around a warrior seeking a powerful artifact in a mystical cave that will grant him eternal life. Now this is an action platformer with new challenges every time you play, as the levels are procedurally generated. As you defeat the enemies and bosses, you'll earn experience to level up and open up new paths that you can then explore. The boss battles are pretty tough and a lot of fun, but with the level design, sometimes you'll run into them a little bit too early and just get stomped. If you're looking for a solid platformer, make sure to check this out before the sale ends on December 7th. It's marked down 60% to an all-time low of just $3.19. Next up, we have Golazo. This is a wild sports title coming to us from Purple Tree and offers unlimited hours of local couch co-op for up to 4 players. The download size is roughly 1.1 gigs. Now Golazo is a no-holds-barred, no-rules, all-out chaotic football game with more than 50 different teams to choose from. Plus, the game has some custom visual options that give you that true retro arcade feel from decades past. There are a couple different game modes as well, plus optional power-ups to add some mayhem into the action. If you like old-school classics like Goal from the 8-bit days, I think this might just give you that nostalgic feeling. If you think this is for you, make sure you grab it up before the sale ends on December 1st. It's marked down 73% to an all-time low of just $3.99. Next up we have Grood. This is a single-player 2D shooter that comes to us from Dragus Games and again is part of their secret sale that we discussed before. So make sure to check out the eShop for exact pricing, as it can vary depending on whether or not you purchased any of their other games. In Grood, your mission is to annihilate an army of robotic enemies and bosses, all while avoiding a storm of bullets, missiles, and lasers. The game features classic arcade-style gameplay with awesome retro graphics and a heavy metal soundtrack. Plus, there's a day and night cycle with dynamic weather, and there's even multiple final bosses depending on how the story plays out during your playthrough. If you're interested in this one, make sure to grab it up before the sale ends on November 30th. It's marked down 60% to an all-time low of just $1.99. But remember, again, it's part of the secret sale, as low as 9 cents. Next we have Hard West. This is a single-player adventure RPG from Forever Entertainment with the main story that should last players roughly 20 to 30 hours to wrap up and a download size of around 5.5 gigabytes. The game features a unique open world set in the Wild West, compelling turn-based squad combat with a wide array of weapons and upgrades, a story that is affected by your decisions throughout, oh yeah, and there's magic as well. See, this version of the Old West has magic, cults, and spells to go along with the standard weaponry. One really cool feature is the ability to ricochet bullets around obstacles by shooting at something metal. If you're interested in Hard West, make sure to check it out before the sale ends on December 9th. It's marked down 90% to an all-time low of just $1.99. Next we have Monument. This is a single-player FPS adventure game from D Games that will last roughly 5 to 10 hours to wrap up. The download size is around 2 gigabytes and it features that old-school classic hardcore gameplay that you remember. Huge hordes of enemies and monsters to blast your way through, with a vast assortment of firepower to do so with. Really, the only goal of the game is to send all of the evil spirits to the grave. The game looks and runs great on the Switch and really does feel great to play. The animations are smooth and the music is amazing as well. Now, it's definitely a dark game, but if you're looking for a solid FPS, make sure to check it out before the sale ends on November 29th. It's currently marked down 72% to an all-time low of just $1.99. Necrosphere Deluxe is a single-player 2D action platformer that could potentially cause you to throw your Switch right out the window. The game was published by Unties and has a download size around 215 megabytes and a main story that should last roughly 3 or 4 hours to wrap up. The game is about the place that you go when you die and sees us on a quest to find a secret portal back to the world of the living. The world is basically a giant maze and requires even more precise timing and movement than games like Celeste, but offers pure gameplay without any of the fluff or filler. There's even a hidden stage if you collect the right items to unlock it. If you like truly brutal games, make sure to check out Necrosphere Deluxe before the sale ends on December 1st. It's marked down 50% to an all-time low of just $3.99. Next up, we have the Oniken and Odallus bundle. This is a dual pack of single-player nostalgic old-school platformers from developer Joy Masher with a download size around 120 megabytes and offers more than 10 hours of combined gameplay. With this bundle, you'll get Oniken the Unstoppable Edition, which is a tough-as-nails platformer with 18 different levels and an optional boss rush mode. Plus, it offers multiple difficulty settings. You also get Odallus the Dark Call, which is much more action and exploration focused, offering some intense levels and boss battles and again a few difficulty settings. This is definitely a solid bundle to pick up if you're a fan of the 8-bit days. If you're interested, make sure to do so before the sale ends on December 2nd. It's marked down 75% to just $4.99. Next up, we have Omega Strike. This is a single-player 2D platform shooter from Digerati with a download size under 200 megabytes and a main story that should last roughly 5 to 6 hours to wrap up. This is one of our personal favorites here at the channel, and we've even played it live with some viewers a little while back. This is a great value featuring a huge open-ended world and multiple playable characters. In the story, players will face off against Dr. Omega and his mutant army. You get to explore this vast interconnected world with 7 unique areas as you search for treasures to buy different upgrades. The game has great controls, the graphics and sound are top notch, but one particular highlight for us were the boss battles. They're challenging, unique, and the dialogue is often very funny. If you still haven't played Omega Strike, make sure to pick it up before the sale ends on December 2nd. It's marked down 70% to an all-time low of just $4.49. Pixboy is a retro 2D platformer from Forever Entertainment and will take around 4 hours or so to wrap up, with the download size under 200 megabytes. Now this is an absolute retro arcade platformer stripped right out of the 90s. It looks, feels, and sounds like a retro game, but the coolest part, aside from the gameplay of course, are the graphics. You can actually find and collect over 20 different new graphical skins which changed from Game Boy to Commodore 64 and many more. The game has more than 40 levels, hundreds of secret rooms, and of course some great platforming action. I like how the game is simple enough for my son to play, yet challenging enough for me to enjoy as well. Make sure to give this one a serious look before the sale ends on December 9th. It's marked down 60% to an all-time low of just $1.99. Pixel Gladiator is a single-player retro 2D wave-based shooter that will take roughly 2 or 3 hours to complete, with the download size under 50 megabytes. Now while the game is short story-wise, there's lots of replayability here and it's an amazing game. In the game you have to defend and upgrade your home base against waves of nasty creatures. The whole thing takes place on a galactic game show and you've been chosen as one of the participants. The only goal of the game is to survive as long as possible while people cheer on your demise. There are loads of unique weapons and upgrades to find, and defense structures like turrets and traps that you can set to help defend your base. The boss battles were a particular highlight for us, and this is another solid value while on sale until November 30th. Now you can pick this one up for just $1.99, marked down 72%, but again it's also part of the developer's secret sale for as low as 19 cents. Next up we have Phantom Doctrine. This is a single-player strategy RPG from Forever Entertainment with a download size around 6.5 gigabytes, offering more than 50 hours of gameplay. Now this is a harsh and immersive story interweaving multiple historical events and characters to bring to life the reality of the harsh Cold War from a unique perspective. The game features next-gen turn-based combat for flexible movements and actions, an expanded battlefield allowing players to call in reinforcements, and again a 50+ hour campaign. There's a whole lot of value here, and if you're interested in Phantom Doctrine, make sure to pick it up before the sale ends on December 9th. It's marked down 90% to an all-time low of just $1.99. Quest of Dungeons is a single-player adventure RPG from Upfall Studios with a download size around 75 megabytes and a main story that will last 6 or 7 hours to wrap up. The game features gorgeous 16-bit graphics and an awesome retro soundtrack. The combat is turn-based and the dungeons are procedurally generated, meaning that it never gets too stale. Now there are 4 difficulty levels, but choose wisely as the game does have the dreaded permadeath and the boss battles can get pretty intense. The items and weapons that you find are also random, again keeping the game fresh, and each run is a little bit different. If you're interested in Quest of Dungeons, make sure to pick it up before the sale ends on December 9th. It's marked down half price to just $4.49. Next we have Red Death. This is a single-player arcade-style vertical shooter from East Asia Soft with a small download size around 50 megabytes, offering unlimited hours of fun due to the high-score nature of the gameplay loop. This game is another intense bullet hell style game where you'll need fast reflexes and it will surely be a rage quitter. There are numerous weapons and upgrades to find, a few different game modes, including a fleshed out story, which actually serves as the prologue to Project Starship, and when you finish up that story, you can jump right into the action in arcade mode, which offers endless randomized challenges. If you're interested in Red Death, make sure to grab it up before the sale ends on December 3rd. It's marked down 60% to an all-time low of just $1.99. Strikey Sisters is a brick breaker style game with a fantasy theme for 1 or 2 players in local co-op with the main story that is quite substantial, clocking in around 4 to 6 hours and a download size around 170 megabytes. Now this game is amazing, and while it's just a brick breaker at heart, it's cleverly disguised behind a wonderfully charming and engaging story with amazing pixel art graphics and even some cutscenes that looked great on the Switch. There's different difficulty levels, boss battles, power-ups, and collectibles, plus the game has so much replayability this is a no-brainer for under $3. The game actually has some of the best cheesy dialogue in any game on purpose. This is a must-buy. Right now you can pick up Strikey Sisters on sale for just $2.99 until December 9th. It's marked down 70% to an all-time low. Next we have Super Punch Patrol. This is a side-scrolling beat-em-up from Hornburg Productions with a download size around 150 megabytes and a main story that should last roughly 5 to 6 hours to finish up. The game also offers multiplayer action for 2 players and local co-op as well, making it a great value for fans of the genre. The game was made by the same creator of Gunman Clive and one of our favorite hidden gems, Mextermination Force. And this game doesn't disappoint, following in the tradition of high standard releases, featuring a pen and ink art style with brutal combat. Now this is definitely another rage quitter as it's tough as nail in some spots, but it pretty much does everything right. If you're a fan of classic beat 'em ups, make sure to check out Super Punch Patrol before the sale ends on December 1st. It's marked down 60% to an all-time low of just $199, and it's a steal at that price. Next up, we have Super Chariot. This is another charming and cute platform game for 1 or 2 players and local co-op, offering more than 20 hours of gameplay, all of which was designed specifically for the Nintendo Switch to be played either by yourself or with a friend. The unique feature is that you have to drag along the wheeled coffin of the dead king through all of the 25 levels and the 5 different beautiful environments. The gameplay reminded me a lot of something like Yoku without the pinball mechanics, and there are a few different level types too, which was a nice change of pace from time to time. Plus, I love how they implemented the puzzles to make use of the cart. I thought it was a pretty fun game to experience. If you're interested in Super Chariot, make sure you grab it up before the sale ends on December 11th. It's marked down 87% to just $199. Next we have They Bleed Pixels. This is a single-player 2D action platformer with a download size around 295 megabytes. The game comes to us from Spooky Squid Games Incorporated and offers a main story that should last roughly 12 to 15 hours to wrap up. The story itself centers around a young female protagonist struggling with her inner demons, and the game does a great job of balancing acrobatic platforming with simple one-button combat systems. However, the game also rewards players for using more cleverly timed and precise attacks in rhythm with the beat of the soundtrack. It also has checkpoints that you can use like an item, and this gives you the freedom to place them wherever you like during the levels. The game looks nice, feels great to play, and it sounds amazing as well. This is definitely recommended. Make sure to pick it up before the sale ends on December 7th. It's marked down 87% to just $199, which again is an all-time low. Toki is a single-player action platformer that offers players an old-school arcade feel and is accessible for anyone regardless of age. It has a download size around 700 megabytes, and the main story isn't very long, only lasting a couple hours, but the game itself is incredibly fun to play. Now this is a remake of a classic arcade game from the 80s and has been entirely overhauled for newer fans, featuring lush environments to explore, hand-drawn art and animations, awesome music, and of course, like I said, that classic arcade feel. But there's even an easy mode for younger players as well. This is a nice addition as the original game was incredibly tough as it was designed to take your quarters, of course. If you're interested in Toki though, make sure to pick it up before the sale ends on December 11th. It's marked down 85% to an all-time low of just $199. Towaga Among Shadows is an action-adventure game from Forever Entertainment with a download size around 1.3 gigabytes and a main story that should last roughly 3 or 4 hours to wrap up. The game is available in local multiplayer for up to 4 players as well, making it a great option for those looking for something to play with their friends. Now this is a fast-paced game featuring wave-based combat with over 60 intense levels. You have spells and different skills that you have to master and upgrade, 4 different game modes, gorgeous graphics and sound inspired by animated movies, plus as we said you can play with up to 3 other players in local couch co-op. All of these things make this an amazing value and it's currently on sale until December 9th, marked down 85% to just $224, which is an all-time low. Next up we have the Aquatic Adventure of the Last Human. This is an underwater single-player adventure title from publisher Digerati, offering a main campaign that should last roughly 5 hours or so to wrap up. The download size is around 210 megabytes, and this is technically classified as a Metroidvania, but to me it's more of a boss rush. Now some areas are progression gated, but to me, like I said, it feels more like a boss rush. In the game you spend a lot of time exploring somewhat empty areas while avoiding environmental hazards until you get to the next boss. Now the bosses themselves are amazing and they can be kinda challenging, but by the end of the game they never felt unfair. Again, the game looks and sounds great on the Switch, with the music being a particular highlight for us. And right now the game is on sale for just $389, marked down 70% to an all-time low until December 2nd. Next we have The Great Perhaps. This is a single-player puzzle platformer from Dragus Games with a download size around 2 GB and a main story that should last roughly 3 or 4 hours to finish up. Now this game is all about time travel and incorporates this mechanic into puzzles that you have to solve as you progress through the story. The game is set in a post-apocalyptic world and features an emotional story with memorable characters along the way. The soundtrack even changes based on the choices and events that unfold during each different playthrough. Now this is another game that's part of the secret sale and available for just 49 cents if you own any of the other games from the developer. Otherwise, the game is on sale until December 6th, marked down 70% to just $2.99, and it will unlock the discounted price for the other games as well. Alright folks, here's a little quick reel of some of the best physical deals that you can pick up right now at Gamestop, if you have one nearby of course. Please enjoy and happy hunting. Alright everyone, that's the end of today's video. If you made it this far to the end, you know you're legendary as always. We truly appreciate you spending a few minutes with us again today. If this was your first time here and we help you find a deal or two, please consider hitting that red button down below to join our wonderful group of game enthusiasts and deal seekers here at the channel. That'll ensure you stay up to date with the best deals, plus it will enter you in for our eShop gift card giveaways that we do at the end of each month. Again, all you have to do to enter is just be sub to the channel, hit the like button down below, and leave us a comment so we could find your name and put you on the list. Keep in mind that we'll probably see some updates in the coming days, so stay tuned, lock it in, and I'll make sure to keep you up to date. Alright everyone, thanks as always. I'm not going to take up any more of your day. We appreciate you. We'll let Little Man take us home as always. Bye everyone.
That's all for today's list. We hope you liked the video. If you did, consider subscribing and liking down below. Okay, bye!